Yeah, okay, we are back. Sawa. Thank you, our viewers. Accommodation facilities in Turkana, they call top 5 or the 5-star accommodation facility in Turkana County. And so we are here to share with you some of the trends in Turkana, and the purpose for us having this show is actually to put Turkana into the map and to also bring matters of importance into a conversation that can shape the future of the Turkana people. We just from discussing with our panelists, 2 main topics about Kenya Power Enlightening Company. We've had power outages for quite long, which of course last week we had commissioning of 2 generators, which the residents of Turkana were happy to receive them. But again, we experienced power cut later. As I was talking to the management of Kenya Power and Lighting in Turkana, they said this is we are giving them, we are still keeping an eye on that issue. We also discussed issue to do with the teachers, the teaching fraternity in Turkana County. And we discussed that and much more. Seated next to me is Mr. Opio. Mr. Opio is a governance and a political expert. He is also a lecturer and a principal Turkana Technical Institute. And of course, next to him, Honorable Samuel Lomodo, who is the MCA Lokicha Ward, the constituency of oil, inaitwa mahali mafuta ilipatikana, the cradle of oil. Asante sana mheshimiwa na karibu. And at the far end we have Shadrach Muyesu, who is the advocate of the High Court and also a representative of LSK in Turkana, and he is a man of so many titles, so I don't want to go into that. Maybe that will be a discussion of another day. Back to our discussion. We had all of last week and the other weeks, we had the issue of the AUC. Our candidate, Raila Odinga, was one of the top contenders for this seat. The election happened on 15th, that was on Saturday. We saw even members of parliament in Turkana County, doing, prayers for Raila so that he wins the AUC. To Kenyan politics.
Thank you. The AUC had its own dynamics.
Yes.
Okay, what mattered most was 4 factors.
Yes.
1, the factor of Anglophone, the factor of Francophone,
yes,
religion,
yes,
regional blocks. We are Africa as 5, the East, the West, the Central, the North, and the South.
Okay.
So just like the East African Corporation, countries have their economic bloc, so they had interest.
Okay.
Religiously, Africa has got quite a number of Muslim dominated countries.
About over 24.
That is true. And the Christians ones, are trailing behind. So that the Muslims wouldn't have left it for non-Muslims,
okay,
which is quite unfortunate. Regionally, we had South Africa making a pronouncement that they should, rally behind their, preferred candidate, the Madagascar candidate, and there was a letter written to all the countries supporting. So
that was a circular from the SADC.
That is true, and previously we had a lot of hope on South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Raila Odinga having had a very good relation with South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and the pronouncement coming from South Africa, then that was quite unfortunate for it played bad for Raila. And the president did his best. Actually, William Ruto, as you know him,
Yes.
he's one guy who takes things full throttle.
Okay.
And he was in Addis, 2 days before the event,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that he was, trying to do some
To lobby.
lobbying.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if it went the way it did,
Mm-hmm.
then there are quite a number of forces that couldn't have enabled Raila to take up the seat,
Okay.
to win the seat.
Yeah, I want us to talk about those issues that actually made Raila not to take the seat. With a lot of hype and hopes from Kenyans and from the, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raila being a figure that all Kenyans celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Every person, apart from some other small quarters, didn't want him to win. But again,
Mm-hmm.
quite a majority wanted him to win, because in Kenyan politics he has been quite unlucky.
Okay.
But for this one, we thought that it was for him to take us or to lose.
Mm-hmm.
We can't tell what happened during the elections,
Yes.
but again, what we saw, because he won round 1,
Yes.
round 2 election he won,
Yes.
then things started going west.
Mm-hmm.
In the third round, fourth round, so that the trend was not favoring him.
Mm-hmm.
As the other candidate was climbing,
he was also
either stagnating or going down.
Yes, yes.
Which would have informed other countries where to vote. Because that is why he stepped down
Okay.
at round
7,
6.
6, yeah.
So that the rule is that if they had gone for round 7 and there's no outright winner,
Mhm.
they would have postponed it to July.
To July.
And this was not life and death.
Mm-hmm.
It was good for him to say,
Yes.
let me step down for this gentleman to take it.
For Yusuf.
Of course, in his comment,
Mhm.
he said that he still can serve Africa at other positions.
Mm-hmm.
From what I can get from that comment, probably
Yes,
they
mhm.
had a negotiated.
Negotiated.
Maybe,
Because, yeah.
Step down, I'll
We'll
give
get you something.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was from my own analysis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sawa sawa. Asante sana. Mheshimiwa.
First and foremost,
Yes.
I requested you at some points
Okay.
that I may not discuss our candidate.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga
Mhm.
for taking a bold step,
Mhm.
also present himself as a candidate for the African Union Commission chairperson.
Mhm.
He was the best candidate. That is what I can say.
The
And I
best
also
we
want
could
to-
present as a country.
Yeah, not even as a country.
Mm.
The best Africa could have as a chairperson.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, allow me also to thank His Excellency the President for the support he had given to the former Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
I think he marshaled the entire support from the ministry up to himself visiting various heads of state,
Mhm.
campaigning for Raila.
Mm-hmm.
And as alluded by Mr. Opio,
Mm-hmm.
it's rarely it is very rarely unusual for Ruto to lose something he has put
Effort in.
a lot of effort on it.
Mhm.
But I think this time round he had to accept.
Mhm.
We have challenge. One of the challenges that I realized
Mhm.
that affected the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga is what you call the geopolitical.
Political. Mhm.
That is the external factors
Mhm.
from AU. That is from China.
Mhm.
External factors from
Mhm.
let's say the SADC.
Mhm.
So all those factors could not favor him.
Mhm.
That is why you could see when it reached the third round,
Mhm.
most of those countries had to
Yeah.
put their effort on one of their own.
Okay.
So that is one of the issues that generally made Raila not to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that spirit of bringing Africa together is one of the things that all the AU head of states need to embrace.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see, Kenya. This is the second time Kenya is presenting a candidate in this election, and in all of these those elections, the Kenyan candidates are losing. So that one could tell you that there might be issues of nepotism that even the heads of state are exercising when it comes to election. So it means that they don't have trust. They don't have trust on leaders from the Western countries. So it is one thing that I want to urge even the head of states to give space even to other states to take opportunity in leading the African Union Commission.
Already we are having members of parliament. I saw Ole Kina, voicing out that it is high time we need to look into the policies that we have with the, with this in the AU, because if it happens this way, then it will be Muslim-speaking countries zitakuwa all the time, at the helm of power in the AU. Yeah. So. And also we saw Kaluma, the MP Kaluma, also akisema kwamba it's high time we need to withdraw from from these blocks. So akisema kwamba there are people of course who are not happy with the outcome because of how the election maybe has been happening. Ambassador Amina the other day again, she was dropped in unclear circumstances. So I think it is an issue that we are seeing. Going into the future, maybe Kenya has to relook into the policies. Wakili, as we close on this matter, I know it is a matter of that requires broader discussion. Karibu.
Where will I start? I could write you an entire essay as to why Raila lost.
Start anywhere. Yes.
And I have a feeling that I am going to disagree. My fellow panelists are not going to like me on this one.
Okay.
But as a public intellectual, I have a duty to be extremely honest.
Yes.
There's a fella by the name Jose Mourinho. One of his most famous sayings is that in this life, it is better to be strategic than philosophical. So when you talk about support, I hear people praising the president for the support that he gave, the prime minister and all that, which is a good thing. But I will ask myself, what is the value of that support? When you're dealing with countries out there, it is not a question of throwing bags of cash in their faces. It is not a question of conducting very elaborate campaigns. What you have to do is that you have to identify with the specific concerns of each and every country on this continent.
Okay.
Ask yourself, why is it that SADC at the last minute decided to withdraw their support of Raila? And then you go back to the Congo Pact.
Yes.
For the longest time, South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, and Rwanda have had strategic interest in Congo. So when the latest round of conflict in Congo erupted, what does the president do? He comes out and cites and praises the president of France, absent talking to the people that are actually invested and interested in Congo. You see, Now, you've not only pissed off the SADC countries, you've also pissed off some East African community countries. And not only that, remember, the larger percentage of the African demographic is young. And we now live in the age of social media, where leaders have to listen to the concerns of their people. And these people, and by people I mean most of them being young. The general sentiment today is a movement away from France and a movement away from America. You see, basically a movement away from the imperial powers. But what does our president do? At any given opportunity, he panders to the interests of the West. Hakuna mtu mwenye anataka America, Africa. Hakuna mtu mwenye anataka France.
So that's only he had with the president of
that
France.
Was extremely ill-informed. You might be supporting someone, but the kind of sentiment that you give out, they just basically send a bad vibe.
Okay.
You see? So when you talk about France, you've pissed off the entire Sahel region. When you talk about the Americas, you've pissed off the remaining part of the continent which is moving towards BRICS. Sahi watu wakienda, watu wanaenda BRICS. Watu wanatoka America na Europe, watu wanaenda wapi? Watu wanaenda BRICS. You see, Now, bringing me to the question of BRICS. You see, bringing me to the question of BRICS. You see, right now, in diplomacy, you're either looking at your own interests in such a way that you're asking yourself, how do I benefit from this situation? Or you're moving away from people who historically, have marginalized you. But when as people are moving towards BRICS, the countries, most of the countries south of the equator, as they're moving towards BRICS, where is our president headed? Our president is causing to the West. Now, he has ended up, I think, at the back of his mind, he was telling himself that, America remains this great imperial power, that at the end of the day, because of their very many interests on the continent, they will come and support my candidate. But which president do you have in America right now? You have Donald Trump, who doesn't care about Africa. So if you're banking on his support, that support is not going to come. You need to read the times.
Okay.
Another thing.
Is it a failure from the foreign affairs?
And I'm getting to that.
Okay.
It is an extreme failure on the foreign mission of this country. Why? For the longest time, we have had a policy of non-alignment. Non-alignment, and that is a policy that has generally, most of the African countries have had. You remember the Cold Wars, when people, it's either America or the USSR, communism and versus capitalism and all that.
Yes,
but in Africa, we said we are non-aligned. We don't want to participate in this conflict. We are going to move in a way where we will cozy, we will associate with whoever assists us. Whether if the West is giving us something, tutakubali. Kama East natupatia kitu, tutakubali. And that was our policy from the very get-go. In the last couple of years, we have lost sight of that policy, that North Star that guides us. Saa hii, mtu hataki kuuliza foreign policy yetu ni gani, ama diplomatic policy yetu ni gani. Diplomatic policy yetu imefika wakati sasa, unaenda kwa ule mtu mwenye anakupatia pesa. It doesn't make sense at all. You see? And then something else. Many African countries, because of our history of colonialism, we identify with countries that have suffered under the brunt of colonialism. So countries will also will identify with countries like, let's say, Palestine. Kama Palestine. Sasa Afrika mzima inataka Palestine is succeed. Wewe urais unakuja unasema nini? We stand with Israel. Do you see those diplomatic blunders? So while I agree with my fellow panelists that Raila is good, he deserved this, he put his best foot forward, while I agree with them that in terms of finances, the support was okay. But I disagree with them to the extent that it was someone else's fault. No, it is our fault to the extent that we did this thing wrong from the get-go. Now, to the most controversial part of to the even more controversial part of my analysis. And I have a feeling that Moesh is going to run me out of this. And it is unfortunate it is unfortunate that every time Baba has had an opportunity to be the president of this country, when it has been given to him on a platter, he has folded. He has folded hand. You remember, from 1994, tukielekea 1999, Raila ametengeneza NDP. What does he do? He folds NDP to go join a very unpopular government, imagining that maybe Moi will second him to be president. It never happened. Inafika 2002, you have an opportunity to basically, jo ameshatoka NDP, sasa wametengeneza NAK. You are extremely popular on account of the goodwill your father has enjoyed over the years. What do? Unasema Kibaki tosha. Haya, you enter into an MOU with Kibaki. What happens 6 months into the MOU? Kibaki totally plays you. He even stops receiving your calls. Haya, unafika 2007. Kura unashinda. Maybe I don't know. But we all know that alishinda. All of us know. We can agree that alishinda kura. No, year 2007 Echo overturned.
Oh,
What
yeah.
happened? People went on the streets.
Yes.
And do you know where he began to fall out with Ruto? He began to fall out with Ruto when Ruto anamwambia bana, wewe si ndio umeshapatiwa, wewe shikilia tu hapo. Even the international community is going to support you because everyone can see that you're the one who won this thing. Ule mtu mwingine ako na only 34 seats. You have the rest of them. What does he do? He folds. And when the government of national accord is formed, where the grand coalition government is formed, the idea, if you look at the national accord at that time, was for government to be split in half, 50-50, from ministers to chiefs, paka huku chini, from the executive to the public service, paka chiefs, huku chini. What happened is that Raila was out-negotiated. You see? So when, from a position where he's actually the leader of the government, he fell down to not only being a subordinate, I'm a second in command, to actually being maybe fourth in command, chini ya Kibaki, chini ya Kalonzo Musyoka, chini ya Francis Muthaura. How do you let that happen? You all remember the infamous Kenneth Marende, the Kenneth Marende ruling, the Solomonic wisdom ruling, and watu walikuwa wanampraise sana wa Solomonic wisdom. Do you remember what happened?
I remember.
Raila was supposed to be the leader of government business. What happens? Everyone has agreed Raila is the leader of government business in the house. Watu wameshakubaliana. He goes into one meeting with Kibaki, anatoka kwa hiyo meeting anasema tumekubali, wacha tuwache Kalonzo akuwe nini? Leader of government business. How? Toka 27. We move to 2013. Whatever happens in 2013 will happen in 2013.
Yes.
Ukifika 2017.
Yes.
He goes again. Basically anashinda kura.
Yes.
Because what does the court do? The court does something that no other court on this continent has ever done. It nullifies that election and declares that there's going to be a rerun. What does my man do? My man decides that he's not going to participate in a court-sanctioned rerun. Anapatia Uhuru mwenye kukuwa na kura on a silver platter. Now move forward. 2017 tunafika 2020 tunafika 2022. 2022 after 2022 you are now causing up. You enter into a handshake. You are entering into a handshake with an unpopular government, which means that by the time you are getting into the 2027 election, you are going there suffering under the burden of incumbency. No one wants it. Unajua incumbency. Ile serikali tayari jina yake shaharibika.
Wewe part of it.
Sasa umejiingiza, so now you are part of it. What does that mean? It means that in 2017 pia na unafanya nini? Pia unapoteza. Unaona? And he has repeated the same mistake. Wanasemanga history is cyclic. Whatever you're seeing right now, we didn't invent it. It has happened before. Now,
he's agreeing.
Juzi, Gen Z wame protest. Do you know that Raila will probably be the president of this country right now as you're speaking? If only he would have come out siku tu moja, hata angeenda siku mingi. Akuje tuna ile fly whiskey yake tu siku moja. Just one day, he'll probably be president right now. But what does he do? He sold his birthright in exchange for 5 posts. And in exchange for this AU seat, which unfortunately hajapata. Now, that has also messed up his chances probably heading into 2027 because whether you like it or not, the majority population right now is of these young people and living in a world of social media. Their voices actually matter. Hawa watu hawafikiri vile unafikiria man. Hawa watu hizo vitu unaona wanaziona. And they don't remember 1982. They don't remember the 6 years he was in prison and all that. You see? So in short, if you've been listening to what I'm saying, you remember the story of what was it? Of Jacob and Esau. In Romans it is written, for God loved Jacob and he hated Esau. For the longest time I was wondering, mbona Mungu anachukia Esau na Esau kufanya makosa yote? Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of bakuli ya ndengu. Na Mungu akamchukia because you're selling all your blessings for a bowl of ndengu. It goes back to 1963 when Jaramogi had the opportunity to be the president of this country. What does he do? He allows Kenyatta, who never fought for independence, to come and become the president of this country. One decision. Makosa moja yenye unafanya, you'll be punished up to the 5th generation.
Lakini baba anasema hakuna risasi moja sasa.
I promise you. And I know. You will disagree with him.
Yes.
But I have a feeling if you are optimistic, that optimism is misplaced.
Maybe 2 minutes, Mheshimiwa, comment na hiyo pia will also give his last comment on the same.
I want to agree with the sentiments by the advocate.
Yes.
And I want to congratulate him. As I told him that there is no experience in politics, but what he has analyzed from the beginning up to the end is purely what politics is. He has analyzed about the AU politics and even the Kenyan politics. The Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has the trust of Kenyans, even to date. But one thing that I am definitely sure, I want to agree with what he has said. It will depend on which side of the political divide we live in 2027.
Lakini wakili amesema hata awe wapi
It
atakuwa na
will
spoil
still
huko.
depend. It will still depend
Okay.
on which side of the political divide he will side on. And,
so are you suggesting
with
this is the next step for Baba? So Babu, the
with
question
how
was,
things-
the question that was to come, what next for him? Because unasikia there is also a proposal that hiyo ya maneno ya UN Secretary General, I don't know if it is just the rumor in the corridors or it doesn't exist.
Baba, when Baba lost AU elections,
Yes.
he said that he's going back to Kenya.
Yes, anarudi nyumbani.
Whatever he's going to get, will appreciate.
Okay.
But what I'm telling you is about 2027. The way the advocate has analyzed everything, I want to agree with him 100%.
Okay.
That it is Raila Amolo Odinga who has been giving his opportunity each and every time. So it will depend on which side of the politics will he side with.
Okay.
But with the current trend that we're having in Kenya,
Yes.
I think the agencies are going to take over.
Okay.
As a politician, my analysis is where the agencies will put their energy and their effort. That is where the next government is going to be formed.
So
And
we'll
this
wait
time
for
round-
that time.
This time round, Raila needs to be very keen that this is the only time. This is the final decision he has
Yes.
for himself on politics, and he has to make it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is that? Who is likely to be, backed by the GNC? From your opinion, whom do you think, from the list that you've had from, from the political space? So whom do you think?
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Alliances are being formed.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
there are
but
many
Baba
more-
is not in
There are
question.
many coalitions that are being formed at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa.
You see, even the Kenya Kwanza, the UDA political party, it has already been formed. It's been formed and it's been combined with it's called what? This one from Salia.
ANC.
Recently, we were being told that the brand will be different. So again, other more parties are going to
fall into
be
it.
that coalition, and there is already another coalition that is starting.
Yes.
The one for the Jubilee. You have the one for you also see the one for ODM is already divided into two.
Yes. There is one which is
Those
on
ones
this
who are
side.
moving with Baba. There are those ones who will
Okay.
form that other move.
So we'll have those political, formations coming in the
But
near future.
What I wanted to say, I wanted to agree with what he has said.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Sawa, Mheshimiwa Opio, your last sentiment?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
What is next for Raila? There are probably has two options.
Yes.
One, because I don't foresee Raila run for president. It's not in the question. But again, looking at the political formation that probably is working out,
Yes.
that we keenly scan at the politics of the day, we see Raila would have more support for UDA, because political parties have records that I used to clinch power, then after clinching power, they crumbled. But again, that means that just as you rightfully put it, UDA will not run as UDA. I know there will be another political formation, and probably this time round, because Raila is a kingmaker in 2027. Every other person that must be president in 2027 must have the backup.
Oh, okay.
And therefore, he's the kingmaker. He's still the kingmaker.
Perfect. Asante sana. So he has two options. One, to back, maybe to back Raila, to back Ruto. And the second one, not to run.
No, to back Ruto
Yes.
or any other candidate who would wish to have his backup, because he's the man to watch.
But the ultimate one is not
He
running.
must support whoever wins in 2027.
Yes. Okay. So.
Okay, well, as you look at on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
we have the former DP
Mm-hmm.
struggling to form a coalition with Natembea's party and Dima Marwa
Mhm.
and Kalonzo Musyoka.
Mhm.
Now, the Gen Z actually, their proposal, ideal presidential candidate is the former security minister,
Mm-hmm.
Matiang'i.
Matiang'i, yes.
But again, now the question now comes on the other side.
Mhm.
The former president wants Matiang'i.
And the current.
Matiang'i,
Uh-huh.
Natembeya.
Yes.
Then on the other side, the former DP is rooting for Kalonzo.
Uh-huh.
That is where the divide is.
Okay.
Still early to say.
Uh-huh.
Can still be discussed.
Sawa. Asante sana. Good one, gentlemen. I think Muyesu, you've given now too much light into that story of AUC, as it has been agreed by the rest of the panelists. We are moving now to our final one. I think this one now, tutaleta hapa hivi kitambaa, kila mtu atakuwa anaji keep cool nayo, kwa sababu mheshimiwa, you are going to take us through this. There is this impeachment motion. This motion has been there since last year. There was one, it was still sounding as a rumor, and it never surfaced. And then the second one came, it was still a rumor that even forced the speaker, who is now the subject of this, addressing media, denouncing the impeachment, motion that was still not out. But we've seen it coming out now. It is out in public domain, it is out in parliament, it is already, tomorrow it will be discussed. The motion mover himself is the MCA for Kalokol ward, Honorable Michael Apem, the MCA Kalokol ward. This impeachment motion, if I can read the preamble, the notice of special motion on removal from office by impeachment of Right Honorable Christopher Doya Nakuleu, pursuant to Article 178, Part 3 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, Section 11 of the County Government Act, 2012, and the Standing Order 15 of the County Assembly of Turkana Standing Orders. So, and so this is a 5-page, impeachment motion, and there is all those write-up. But quickly, before we get to discuss the grounds of impeachment, Mheshimiwa Samuel, I want you to tell us, when first did you interact with this motion? When did you add about it, and the source of it?
Thank you so much. There has been long anticipation.
Yes.
That we're going to have the impeachment motion for the Right Honorable Speaker
Yes.
of the County Assembly of Turkana. And this motion was tabled on Thursday by the member of County Assembly representing the people of Kalokol, morning hours. And the speaker, the presiding speaker at that time gave directions that the motion is going to be debated tomorrow, that is on Tuesday. But today, as we are here, the speaker himself had filed an injunction to stop
The movement of
the motion from proceeding on. And the High Court of Lodwar, the judge himself had granted that it will not continue.
Okay.
So for consumption of the public, tomorrow we're not going to continue with that motion.
Okay.
I think the presiding speaker is going to give that communication. We are in a law-abiding country.
Yes.
Where we need to respect the orders that are given by our courts.
Okay.
Because our courts are so independent. About this impeachment motion. Personally, I am a member in that county assembly. I have not signed the impeachment motion. And I don't support the impeachment of Right Honorable Christopher Doyen Akulemi. And the office of the Speaker is established under the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Article 178. And the procedure for removing the Speaker, when you open Article 178, Part 3, it says that Parliament is going to enact a legislation that is going to fast track the removal of the Speaker. Parliament in this case is the Senate and the County Assembly. The Senate and the National Assembly. The laws that are governing counties are what we call the County Government Act. And I know the legal person is here. I don't give facts. He should be in position to tell us because he is an expert on that end. And if you go deep into the threshold of removing a speaker, in this case, the threshold of removing a speaker, as per the County Governments Act, is 3/4 of the members of the County Assembly are eligible into removing the speaker. We have 47 members. We had lost one of our members. We have 46 members of County Assembly. One of our members of County Assembly who was forced to sign this impeachment motion is ailing at Nairobi. He's not going to vote.
Okay.
So we'll remain with
45.
So if you talk of 3/4 of 46, you're going to have 35 members. The members who signed this impeachment motion are 36. Remove the
one who the
ailing
secular
person, you remain with 35. We have almost 2 more members who were forced, who were intimidated.
Okay.
By who? By the sitting government.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the members were
in this case, when we talk about the sitting government, the government is.
This is not news.
Okay.
This impeachment is as a result of the Speaker raising issues to do with relief food.
Okay.
That why are we not having beans in the ratio for relief food? So after that, what did the governor say? He pronounced when he was doing relief distribution that let's meet on February. I will ensure that the Speaker is not in that.
Did he say that?
Yes, he said it is.
Okay.
You have the clips. You have the clips. You are the one who was posting.
I'll need to check, but we've never posted anything like
food
that.
Distribution in Nakwamekwi. That is what he said.
Okay.
What happened? Members of County Assembly were just taken to Cradle. That is not Cradle to Siamo Village. All that time.
Okay.
You remember we had raised more issues. That in the first instance they were given 38,000. Second instance, they were given 20. Third instance, they were given 50. Fourth instance, during Christmas, they were given 150,000. Then recently in Kitale, they were given 100,000. So who was giving them all this money? It is the governor.
Okay.
So it is him who is behind the impeachment of the Speaker.
Of the Speaker.
So when you talk of the threshold, I never wanted to go into that side of politics because we are welcoming the impeachment.
Okay. And then why is it stopping it from...
The procedure.
It is a procedure?
I'll read to you what the standing order entails on the procedure of removing the Speaker. Because we have the standing orders, we have the County Assembly Service Board Act, we have the County Governments Act, and we have the Constitution.
Okay.
All those are legal
procedures available
that are supposed to be used when one wants to remove a Speaker from an office. So what the Speaker was challenging here was the procedure. That was used. You can remember. You can realize we have what we call the House Business committee, House Business Rules and Procedures Committee
Yes.
in the County Assembly that has 14 members.
Mm-hmm.
The Speaker is the chairperson and the Deputy Speaker is the Vice Chairperson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that committee that sat down, even the chairperson was not there, the Vice Chairperson was not there,
Mm-hmm.
even the member, that is the Speaker's panel,
Mm-hmm.
like Honorable Mike was not there.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we are questioning from the procedure, even how that thing was being slotted in the order paper.
Okay.
It was unprocedural. So,
Yeah. But,
so
Mhm.
let me not even highlight on issues that we know,
Okay.
because that is why the Speaker obtained the court injunction to stop all this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was elaborating on the threshold,
Mm-hmm.
3/4. So 3/4 is 35.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have 36. So minus 1 who is sick leave,
Mhm.
35.
Mhm.
Minus 2 who are forced to sign.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 1 who has forged the signature. Of course, we'll be taking the motion mover to court
Okay.
for doing forgery,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a member who has wrong ID number.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend, why should I join a losing battle? I'm an MCA, a dignified MCA from Lokicha,
Okay.
and I respect the wish of the will of my people. I was not sent here to impeach the Speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I was sent here to do oversight legislation and representation.
But Mheshimiwa, hii matter, it was just mentioned the other day. It is tomorrow that was supposed to be discussed for you to know now the content of the entire motion. But already you have stopped it from being discussed, and have you given it space to know what the motion is, the grounds of impeachments, and the entire thing, listening to it first.
We have gone through the grounds of impeachment.
Okay.
They are saying gross violation of the Constitution and any other written laws.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying gross misconduct, and they are saying incompetence.
But most of all these are administrative.
All of those are grounds
Mm-hmm.
that are in the Constitution, that are in the standing orders, that are in the County Governments Act for one to be removed from an office.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend, when you talk of gross misconduct, what do you mean by gross misconduct? When you talk of gross violation of laws or any other written laws,
Mm-hmm.
which laws are these? When you start saying that person Y was given this opportunity to become this position, my friend, that is not the responsibility of the Speaker.
Yeah.
That is the responsibility of the board.
Mm-hmm.
And the County Assembly Service Board is there. It is comprised of the Speaker,
Mm-hmm.
the clerk. We have the two members of the coalition. In this case, we have Honorable Line
Mm-hmm.
and the member of County Assembly for Kapedo.
Yes.
Do you know what? All these people did not give.
Consent.
None of them.
Mhm.
None of them did a dissenting opinion, and the minutes are there to say that this person should not be promoted. So, and the same people who did not give a dissenting opinion by evidence of minutes
Yes.
are the same people who are saying that the Speaker should be impeached. So who is cheating?
So all that is in record.
All those things are in record.
Okay.
So even you see, all these matters that they are putting forth are administrative,
Okay.
and all these issues, if you read the Public Finance Management Act,
Mm-hmm.
that is Article 148, subsection 4.
Yeah. Apart from
It tells you-
apart from the part C that says political partiality and failure to provide a unifying leadership, that is not administrative.
Do you know that in the Constitution that the Speaker is the spokesman of the County Assembly? If members of the County Assembly have failed to address issues as they are because they've decided to follow the governor, what do you expect the Speaker to do? He's
But
a politician
Uh-huh.
in this county,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a right to say anything on behalf of the County Assembly. He is the spokesman of the County Assembly.
Maybe Wakili will tell us that later.
That is in the Constitution. He will.
He will give us now the right path from that point. But having said
So
that,
I wanted to give you the
Mhm.
what the standing order says.
Yes.
On removal from office. Standing order number 15 of the County Assembly is very clear that a member of the County Assembly supported by at least 1/3 of the members may move a motion for the removal of the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker for A. Serious violation of provision of the Constitution or any other law, including violation of Chapter 6, gross misconduct, physical or mental incapacity, incompetence, or bankruptcy. Number 2, before giving the notice of motion under paragraph 1, a member shall deliver to the clerk a copy of the proposed motion in writing, which was done, stating the grounds and particulars upon which the proposed motion is made, signed by the member, signed in support by at least 1/3 of all members of the county assembly. Upon the receipt of the motion by the clerk, a member shall not withdraw a signature appended to it. Number 4, a member shall give 3 days notice of motion under paragraph 1 within 3 days of the approved motion, which was done. So the motion was supposed to be deliberated, I think, tomorrow. Then the clerk shall set out in the order paper on which the motion is listed the grounds and particulars upon which the proposed motion is made, the name of the member sponsoring the motion, and the names of the members in support of the motion. If the motion is supported by at least 1/3 of the county assembly shall appoint a select committee comprising 7 of its members to investigate a matter, and the members of the committee shall reflect relative party strength in the assembly, taking into consideration the interests of the independents, and the committee shall within 7 days investigate and report to the assembly whether it finds the allegations against the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker to be substantiated. 7, the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker has the right to appear and be represented before the Select Committee during its investigation. If the Select Committee reports that it finds the allegations unsubstantiated, no further proceedings shall be taken, and if it finds substantiated, the County Assembly shall vanish the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker with the report of the Select Committee, together with any other evidence adduced and such a notes or papers presented to the committee at least 3 days before the day scheduled for his or her appearance before the Assembly. Afford the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker an opportunity to be heard, consider the report of the Select Committee, and vote whether to approve the resolutions requiring the removal from office of the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker. If a resolution requiring the removal from office of the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker is supported by not less than 75% of all the members of the County Assembly, the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker shall cease to hold office. So my friend, even before we discuss about the procedure, they don't have that number. They have tried to buy. So they have given a lot of money.
Mheshimiwa, I want us to give time to others to react. But before then, kwa hiyo maneno ya nini
let me assure you in this show,
yes,
even though the courts will open up the opportunity for the matter to be deliberated in courts, and Nakule will not be impeached.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haya. Sawa. So, to wakili, take us legally. Already Mheshimiwa amesema kwamba the court injunction has been issued for this motion not to proceed tomorrow because of the procedures that were supposed to be followed were not followed well. So give us how that process was supposed to be done, and then Mr. Opio will give us this. Karibu.
In answering that question,
yes,
I have to be very clear that I don't know any of the parties that are involved.
Yes.
I am not a politician, and generally I have tended to refrain from commenting on matters politics local. So just underline, mine is a legal opinion. I might be wrong. Because the good thing about the law is that there are no right answers.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends
it
on
can be argued.
Emotion. Exactly.
Yes.
But from the very outset, I want to echo something that Aisha said here. It's a general principle of law that where a procedure has been set out, that procedure has to be followed in the strictest sense. That is one. 2, it is also an elementary principle of law in matters public governance that the court will do its best to refrain from interfering with the other arms of government. You saw it with the matter of the impeachment of the former deputy president. They will do their best to try and avoid interfering. So what they usually say is that they wait for the process to terminate, and then after the process has been terminated, the court can now come and have a look into look at the process to determine whether the law was actually followed. But in instances where a procedure has been flouted, courts have tended
At
to be
the
flexible.
beginning.
And it's
Even at
part
the
reason,
beginning.
yes, even at the beginning. And it is part reason why perhaps you saw the injunction today. So if it is a question of qualifications, if it is a question of maybe the panel and all that, maybe the court will say, wacha, tungoje tuone pali, itaenda. But if it is a question of procedure, at the very least, at least they will give you an opportunity to, ventilate your issues
Okay.
at the preliminary stage. That is one.
Which they have done.
Which they have done. So I suspect, I haven't seen the order, but I suspect the process has been stopped momentarily to allow the other parties to come and, respond to that application as it were. If the issues are really genuine, prima facie, on the face of it,
Yes.
because you're not arguing the case entirely at a preliminary stage. But if it looks like there is a genuine issue of a procedural flaw, then the courts might say that maybe you are stopping this process.
Okay.
And when they say you are stopping, it doesn't mean that the process has stopped entirely. They will just tell you go back and regularize, which means that the motion can be brought again
Later.
in weeks, in a couple of weeks or in days time. That is one.
Okay.
And then two, Muhesh has touched on some of the laws that govern the impeachment process. He has touched on the standing orders of the County Assembly, and he has also made mention of the County Governments Act. Now, if you look at the County Governments Act and the standing orders of the Turkana County Assembly, the standing order, the County Government Act is very clear, very short, very sweet, very succinct, very straightforward. But if you look at the standing orders of the county government, at least this is my opinion, it appears to be convoluted. It appears to be, how can I say it? Convoluted.
Convoluted is to...
Convoluted, yani nile yenye, it is, how can I say it? Yani kuna vitu mingi ndani. It is not very clear. Basically, what I'm saying, it's not very clear. You
Yes.
see? Because amongst others, those standing orders seem to suggest that once a notice of motion has to be supported by at least 1/3 of the membership of the county assembly.
Yes.
And then that notice of motion is brought before the clerk. And then that notice of motion is also brought before the county assembly for concurrence. You see? So why would you request the mover of the motion to have 1/3, to have the motion supported by 1/3 of the members, and then also require the motion to be tabled before the county assembly so that you can also get another support of 1/3? Kwani wale 1/3 wa kwanza walikuwa wanini? And then after that, you're now saying that if you have concurrence from at least a third of the members, you're now moving it to an investigating panel. You see? And then from that investigating panel, where the speaker might have an opportunity to appear and present his issues, you now take it back to the county assembly again to look for 2/3. You see, that's what I mean by say convoluted. Uko na stages mingi sana zenye unapeleka hii kitu county assembly,
And the same
people who
appearing
are
in the
motion,
same,
and the same people who are investigating,
Yes.
and are the same people who are who are deciding. So in my view,
Yes.
which might be wrong, but if I was arguing this motion, one of the first things for me to do would be to challenge the constitutionality of those standing orders as they are. That is one. And then secondly, those standing orders have to be in conformity with the County Government Act, because it is the County Government Act first, and then the standing orders to follow, not the other way around. And if you look at the County Government Act, it is very short, very sweet, very straightforward. The mover of the motion will come up with his motion supported by at least 1/3 of the membership of the county assembly. That motion will be tabled, will be presented to the clerk.
Yes.
The clerk, within 5 days, will present that motions and the reasons thereof, because the reasons have to be attached to that motion.
Yes.
And the reasons thereof to the affected party, in this instance being the speaker. And the speaker will have 7 days, at least 7 days, within which we'll have a maximum of 7 days, within which to respond to the notice of motion in writing. And then it is the motion itself,
That-
together with the supporting evidence
Yes.
and the response of the speaker, that will now form the basis of discussion before the county assembly. Unanipata? So that one for me seems very straightforward.
Yes.
But the other one for the county assembly appears to suggest that there can be a discussion in the county assembly in the absence of, in the absence of the speaker's response.
Yes.
You see, and you see that already creates an element of bias. Kwa sababu unajua watu wanakudiscuss hawajaona response yako.
Yeah.
And it was one of the questions that some legal minds were raising about the Gachagua impeachment. Because how do you take the impeachment motion for public participation,
Yes.
for people to speak on it? They're speaking on one side, but hawajaona response ya Gachagua.
Uh-huh.
It is the same thing here.
Okay.
How do you take a motion to the county assembly for concurrence while you have not seen the response from the from the affected
subject.
party, from the subject? You see, and that is why I'm saying this is my view. I could be wrong. I don't pretend to know everything. There are many things I don't know. Yes, there are other people who might see differently. It's okay.
Yes, uh-huh.
But for me, if I was
Yes.
looking at this, I have a slight problem with the standing orders as they are. But generally, we have spoken about two things
Yes.
that are generally that are general norms in law.
Okay.
We have said that where there is a procedure, it has to be followed.
Yeah.
We have also said that courts tend to refrain from interfering with the affairs of other arms of government.
Until the conclusion.
Yes, generally. But we are also saying that there is an the most basic principle of law, something called udi alterem partem, the right to a fair hearing. You see, fair hearing means you have to be judged against a law that is good. You see, and you have to be presented with an opportunity to. You have to be confronted with the case against you and the supporting evidence in detail, and you have to be given a good opportunity to equally respond and to appear before a panel that is
investigating.
A panel that is fairly neutral. You see,
Yes.
So that will be my view.
Okay.
For the people that I have angered, forgive me.
That is
just my view.
Yeah, thank you. Because for me, my concern was also about the procedures, especially the constitution of the committee or the team that will investigate. It will constitute who and who, and who does the selection of that team. I don't know. I have no I'm not aware about I'm aware of the standing orders, but now when it comes to the floor of the House, when it is time to have that committee in place. So who is eligible to be part of the committee, and who does the selection of the panel? Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Thank you. I think you've asked a question which I had already answered.
You gave the number.
The standing order. So we are told in the standing order that 7 members are going to be the members of the select committee that is going to investigate the matter. And when nominating members to this committee, the coalitions, the two coalitions, that is the majority and the minority coalition, are going to take into consideration the relative party strength.
Okay.
So in this case, it is normally the whips of the coalition that normally decide which members are going to be in this committee. So, and in consultation with the leadership of the House.
Okay.
So it is the coalition members that are going to.
Okay.
And in this case, mostly, I agree with him that how can someone who is already aggrieved, who has issues with the speaker, how can he become again a select committee to investigate again the speaker? And he has already signed the impeachment motion. So that is where we have issues with the standing order.
Okay. So Mr. Opio.
Thank you. Standing order, great or not, impeachment is a political process. And if the court, the work of the court is actually to align themselves to the standing orders so that there is no violation of the right of a person for fair hearing. But again, it's quite unfortunate that all impeachment that we've ever seen, the grounds of impeachment are not even
Substance.
anything to be debated on because it's not a criminal matter, it's a civil matter, so that the basis of probability what is in question, whether he committed or did not, it's not anything in question.
Okay.
But it's a political process. But again, having looked at other speakers in this country that have been impeached, the county that have impeached, there are grounds of impeachment were not as solid as what I've seen. They are,
These ones are solid?
very mediocre ground, but the speaker still went. Because the relationship between the speaker and the governor must be so such that both houses, the executive and the legislature, work hand in hand.
Yes.
In incidences where there is irreconcilable difference, then
Like the one that we experienced between the governor and the.
one must go.
You think so?
Yeah. If they can't, they are not, they can't reconcile the difference, then it is hard for one to exist.
Yeah.
Now, who has the financial muscle probably to match on the numbers required by the threshold to send one home? Probably, as we say, they've been sent to hear more that will still happen until the and take a case in point. The Migori one, it went successfully. The Nyamira one, the still went. So that how do you, mobilize the people probably who cannot resist, bribe? That's now the question. But again, if the governor stands his position,
Yes.
he can use whatever he believes means. He can, at long ways, because when these things started, it started like a joke.
Yeah.
The speaker went in some function and mentioned what was given out.
Yeah.
And the governor responded also and with the outrage. And he mobilized his troops to make sure that, ensure that, the point is on that you cannot question me. I'm the executive. You gave me money, I've spent it, they have spent it, but again, you are not the overseer. You cannot oversight.
Yeah.
But again, we won't leave it for the Lomodo to delve into it until you give us the responses. But again, it's time to predict what will happen.
What will happen?
Because there are legal issues. The injunction has been secured. Another step will ensue. It is a play game.
Yeah.
Until the end. But again, one thing that I'm for sure
Yes.
is that look at the president and former deputy. What happened? The ground in which the Shago went, every Kenyan nobody can qualify. But eventually what happened?
Event. Yeah, so as you hold the microphone, I'm taking because as you are a governance expert, you understand how governments operates. So from the event that happened in Turkana North, where the speaker came out in public to question the quantity and the food relief. Thereafter, they followed a letter from the assembly that was stamped by the speaker, addressing the executive of the staffing of the assembly on the funds. Yeah, you saw the letter, and there came after a response, which was said it came from the governor. So these are yeah. So I know you have something to say about the who is supposed to address matters of the assembly which are administrative, and is the governor at the same time, granted an okay to write a letter, explaining the disbursement of funds to the either county assembly or to the entire to the executive.
Well, the letter from the speaker,
Yes.
especially the person who runs the affairs of the assembly,
Yes.
the clerk.
Uh-huh.
My opinion, the clerk ought to have written a protest letter to the executive that they are being served of funds. But again, going back to where it all started,
Yes.
a public function attended by the speaker, lamenting that what was passed is distributed public, and that is probably what angered the governor. Yeah, the governor was like, why do you oversight me? What you gave me in some other incidences, of course, it is in public domain.
Yeah.
When you are distributing food, don't do it in the darkness.
Okay.
It is the broad daylight where the public is there. So what is given out according to Speaker, must be what they had passed in the assembly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, according to Speaker, the Speaker, he never saw what they had passed.
Mm-hmm.
The proposal of the budget and allocation.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Until what came out to the public.
Yes. Then
What he saw himself.
after then,
Mm-hmm.
then he did a protest letter of
Mhm.
observation.
Okay.
He was taught not to have come from the Speaker.
Mm. Okay.
Protesting to another arm
Mhm.
of government, telling him saying that you are serving us, and it is not good for us.
Okay.
Yeah, you are curtailing our services, our service position and operations in the assembly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the rejoinder from the government,
Mm-hmm.
was like, we also get our money from the excess.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not getting, it means we not voted.
Okay.
So you need to place your protest
Mhm.
to the control of budget.
Yeah.
Because they are not seeing the money.
Mm.
The money is not there.
Mhm.
So we can't give you what you don't have.
Okay.
That was a simple reply
Uh-huh.
from the government.
So which was supposed to come from the finance
No, the
minister?
government also in his own way, because you've done it, let me do it. Because you are
Okay.
negative, and you are the legislature, let me also.
So he was sending back to the
Yeah,
center.
and also, if you looked at the pointers in that rejoinder,
Mhm.
he was reminding the speaker that
Yes.
probably you are writing to the wrong person.
Oh, okay.
Yes, your protest was placed to the wrong person.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the issue, you wanted to say something, Wakili. Before now we come to what assembly passed. Yeah, because we see it is from that public baraza that, as you said, that brought all this thing in difference between the speaker and the governor. And Mr. Pio amesema kwamba, if they cannot say high to high, then there is a problem. One is likely to go, and one is likely to force the way out for the other. So, we have already heard about the process that the speaker, the step that the speaker has taken to stop or to ask them, please follow the right procedure if you want this to go the right way. Karibu sana.
First of all, let me correct general misconception.
Okay.
That maneno ya Gachagua iliisha, haikuisha. The matter is still in court.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So of course, at the end of the day, the court is going to make a determination as to whether or not correct procedure was followed.
Okay.
So let me just repeat. The courts tend to say, wacha wamalizane nayo,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you are interested, you can come back to us.
Okay.
Yes. We might reinstate you, or we might give you some other kind of relief, kama ni ukweli ulikuwa umefanya nini, umekosewa.
Okay.
But in matters of procedure,
Mm-hmm.
they're a little bit flexible. Because like I said, procedures is something that is quite strict.
Mm-hmm.
My advice going forward would be for these standing orders to be structured in such a way that instead of having an investigating committee, you let the person, the accused person, and his accuser come before a committee of the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
They come with the advocates, they present their cases, and they are questioned by all members, and then kutoka hapo kila mtu akiona, you vote, you decide on whether or not to impeach them,
Mm-hmm.
as it happens nationally. And you have also seen that nationally the trend is moving away from select committees. Put it before the whole house, so that people can see. You ask questions, you answer questions, the documents are tabled, you respond to those documents. Both sides, the accuser and whoever is accused, then people can vote and they decide. So maybe.
So how can this be amended? Nani who has to do the amendment, to propose the amendment?
Any person, any member, any.
And there's a raise to hapo kwa nini alafu then it is.
No, but that requires an amendment of the standing orders. You cannot amend the standing orders for this particular.
Oh, it has to be.
Forward. But going forward, maybe it is something that
Okay.
we need to look at. Then finally,
Yes.
just to echo something that Mwalimu had said, it is true. The law has no cure for politics.
Okay.
It has no cure for politics. Kama ni siasa nyinyi mfanye tu siasa yenu huko nje. But a procedure is a legal issue. And that is why at the end of the day, for instance, if the president and his deputy cannot see eye to eye, the law cannot force them to see eye to eye. The law can only tell you that what you did here was wrong. And maybe for this other person, if the consequence was you are not going to run for political office,
Yes.
now the court will absolve you. Itasema ulitolewa lakini haukutolewa na haki, therefore you can continue the affairs and run for political office in future. And that is why it is very important for whoever is aggrieved kufanya nini? Kwenda kotini. Unajua ukikosa kwenda kotini, kutolewa pengine vile amesema utatolewa because unajua ni siasa. Me, I'm not an expert in politics. Wenye wanafanyanga siasa wanajua vile wanafanya. Maybe utatolewa. But it is important for you to clear your name. Because if you don't clear your name, it is something that might affect you in future on account of nini? On account of chapter 6. So integrity. I disagree with mwalimu kusema ati wewe unaenda court unachoma wakati. That was the general theme of, I suspect, of his presentation. But yes. If you don't clear your name, it is very easy kwa mtu kukuja kusema you are what? By the way, do you remember you were impeached? You can't run for office.
You can't, yeah. Yes. Yeah. In fact, that one ilikuwa, before even Gachagua went for the last nini, wakasema wewe usiresign mapema, usikose kunini. So mheshimiwa, we are concluding this matter. So then having sought for a court injunction, then what next? Is the speaker considering amending fences with the governor, or anasema twende full throttle?
I think that is a question that the speaker himself can respond to.
Yeah, I thought you said you are representing the other side.
I have told you I don't support the impeachment.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now as the MCS on the other divide, one thing standing that you are going to support the speaker up to the latter. That is what you said.
I don't support the impeachment of the speaker.
Okay.
Meaning when I say I don't support, it means I'm on his side.
Okay. Yes. That's what I meant. So now, as after that one, now what next?
Oh, of course, court injunction has been given, and the inter-parties are going to give their submissions on 27th of this month. That is on the aspect of the procedure that was used.
Yes.
Then the court is going to make a determination on whether it's going to proceed or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll wait after 27th of this month.
After 27th, eh?
Yes.
Sawa. Then we will also again be discussing these things after.
Just to tell Mwalimu.
Yes.
Other than one party saying that he has resources, he has everything, there is still law that is governing the removal of a speaker.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, we are 10 men who have remained. No one is going to buy us. The remaining 10.
Yes.
No one is going to buy.
You are not going to lose even one.
Even a single one. Even if they give 1
million,
2 million,
yes.
any amount of money, we will not fall into that.
Yeah.
So and I want to assure you, if you're doubting, time will tell. And we're even saying let it be brought.
Yes.
We were even very ready to debate on that motion like tomorrow. Okay. But because the injection has just
been allowed
to research more. But when it comes to voting, real voting, my friend, they will not even reach a threshold of 31. 31, mark the number 31. They will not reach 31.
But I saw the list, it's more than 40.
Yes.
Was it that 6?
Yes. Some members are after ward development projects. What do you expect them to do? It is only me who doesn't want those projects because I used to take them to the community. I don't have any interest. I have the interest of the community of Lokichar at my heart.
But wakuulize saizi wa community wakuulize iko wapi hizo project?
Sinawaambia muende kwa county, kwa ministry. Na projects area yangu yote. Ile nilikuwa nimesema kina nani ndio wanapewa. Ninaambia hao endeni kwa county mchukue.
Okay.
So mwenye anataka kuwanyima si awanyime. Siko 2027.
Yeah. Sawa. Mheshimiwa, tunaongelea mwisho kabisa. Tulikuwa tunasema kwamba the political
about this issue of finances in the county assembly. We haven't received payments of even our salaries from December, January and now we are getting into February.
Yes.
We haven't received our salaries.
Mm-hmm.
Even committee sitting allowances. Most of our committee sitting allowances have been approved by the Controller of Budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we only have one county revenue fund account.
Mm-hmm.
The county assemblies don't have the financial autonomy.
Okay.
Which recently, when the members of the county assembly across the whole country met the president, they were pushing for having financial autonomy on the county assemblies.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what is making members of county assembly be beggars of governors.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, if county assemblies will not have that financial autonomy, they will still be crumbling before any governor for them to get the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still pushing for that autonomy of county assemblies.
Mm-hmm.
So there are approvals that were done by the Controller of Budget. What is the county executive committee member for finance supposed to do? He's not supposed to sign. He's supposed to forward it to CBK.
Okay.
Then CBK releases money to county assembly. That one has not been done. Reason? Politics. Don't give them money. If they have money, they will overturn the impeachment.
Mm.
So whether they keep those Form Cs up to next year,
Mm-hmm.
we want to assure them they will still pay.
Okay.
They will still pay. Whether they do what, they will pay.
But
those are monies in the budget.
But already umesema assembly iko staffed financially. So at operations, how would they survive? How will they run their normal operations?
The same members who have been taken for goat eating and money will come and ask for their money. They will ask the same person their money. Just give it
and
time.
That's what will reduce the number from that
Just
6 to...
give it time. It's a matter of time.
Yes.
Give it time. If we reach April,
yes.
April and someone doesn't see his or her own and salary
yes.
in his account, or even mileage, or even the committee sitting allowances,
yes,
my friend, they will come running to us, and we'll tell them, go and ask the same person who has refused to release money to the county assembly. On this issue of the letter, I've just told you that whenever there are matters in the county assembly, it is the speaker who raises it. There is no way that a clerk can do a letter to a governor.
But even administratively,
administratively, that was supposed to be the clerk writing to the CC Finance.
Yes.
But now, because this matter was beyond, do you know the clerk, the director for finance, had gone to meet the CC Finance how many times? Each and every time he has gone there, he's being told that we don't have money. But do you know the reason why even our county hasn't received money for December? It is because they were still money in the CRF account, which they are saying they did not have money. That is why even to date we've not received money for December, we've not received money for January. There was still money in the CRF account, but they did not want to say the truth. They were having almost like 700 million. And that is why the National Treasury could not release more money in this account. It is just last two weeks. That is when they concluded paying their immediate suppliers. Of course, the close allies to the government. They concluded paying them. That is now why they wrote a letter recently saying that county staff give us just understand us where there is delay in salaries and this. It is not a delay. There was still more money in the CRF account. That is why the treasury could not put more money in this account. It's only that they don't want to tell the Turkanas the truth.
Now
we have people in the National Treasury.
Yes.
we have people in the National Treasury.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm also a certified public accountant. Connections there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are friends, of course.
Yeah.
Sasa mheshimiwa, tukimalizia, one last thing about the political fiasco between the governor and the speaker and the MCS, the political implication, the political movement now. We understand majority of MPs are not like seeing the governor eye to eye, as you said. MCS majority, as you saw the signatures, we will say the majority are on his side as we speak. So the other day we saw the professionals, a section of professionals from Turkana North complaining, also trying to raising out their voice that that they are coming in defense of the speaker. You see, and already that's the MP for Turkana North in his rally mentioned that this is now a battle of Turkana North and the governor. That the governor wants to remove their son from the office. So now singling this matter into the North and now becoming the matter of the North. I want to ask to give just what you have been here for quite long, Mr. Opio, understanding the pattern of politics in Turkana. What is this battle between the speaker and the governor likely to take us?
Looking at the political landscape.
Yes.
The sons, protecting their sons, the sub-county protecting their sons. I think the governor will have a down
Okay.
convincing the Turkana North sub-county to the speaker thinks is apart from them having a name, the speaker is the second highest ranking officer within the sub-county. So if you snatch the position of the speaker from them, they will feel betrayed
Okay.
in a big time. Now, it will depend on if the impeachment motion succeeds, who will succeed the speaker. Now, from where will he come? That will actually be in the outlet into enabling the governor to playing his politics. Probably, who knows, he decides to return it to North. Or if he decides Central, then he forgets about the North. The North Coast. If he succeeds.
But already he says, they say Muñez is in their camp. Muñez is shown side with the governor. So will that be the reason, to balance the vote in North?
Yeah, of course, Muñez in the recent past has always been, the choir member of the praise and worship team of the government in the recent past. Probably is looking for, relevance, economically or some. I saw him. I saw the governor asking Ruto to find something for Muñez.
Yes.
To feel that he's still energetic, so that he does something. But again, if he gambles with Muñez to replacing Nakuleu, then that is him.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be decided then. But again, politically, the Northerners feel betrayed by the government.
Okay.
Because this position, look at it also in this perspective. Who are the majority coalition in the assembly?
UDA, Kenya Kwanza.
Yes, Kenya Kwanza. From whose ticket the governor was elected?
ODM. Oh, yeah, Azimio la Umoja.
Now, if it's cooking for this, you are preparing, a broth for this other one, yours could be cooked.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a Pandora box.
Okay.
The governor is opening.
Okay.
That whose results we cannot predict now. But we'll watch the space.
Aha. Sawa. Mheshimiwa.
Manu, let me ask you, from where you sit, what did you expect the professional from Turkana North to do when they see one of their own being targeted?
Yeah, I just saw the press. So
the answer is very simple. You will expect them to speak what they said, and that is their feeling.
Okay.
And if I were in that position,
yes,
I would have sought for reconciliation.
Okay.
As a leader, and I know, as I've told you, the impeachment is not going anywhere.
Okay.
But the only way for Turkana County at the moment is leaders need to avoid 2027 and have unity and discuss about bringing Turkanas together and discussing challenges that are affecting our people. Most of us are for that. Like myself, I am for unity.
Okay.
But not about being in the same alignment in 2027. Because of how we've seen work being done, we will not be together with some people in 2027.
Okay.
And just because of serving Turkanas,
yes,
we are saying let's be united for these remaining years.
Okay.
That is for the remaining 2.5 years, we are saying we can be united to address challenges that are affecting Turkanas. But 2027, everybody is going to take his own direction, and that is what democracy entails.
Okay.
That everyone has his own right to choose where he or she should support.
Okay.
So that is my prayer.
Okay.
And that is my plea to the entire leadership of Turkana. Because I know eventually we will have different candidates in 2027. Not necessarily every politician is not going to be in the same party. We'll be having different coalitions coming.
Okay.
So we'll have different persons having different opinions or even having different agendas on matters that are affecting the people of Turkana.
Okay. Sawa. Asante sana.
That is the much I can say on that aspect of leaders in Turkana.
Okay.
That is, unity is the only way.
Unity of purpose.
Even after this impeachment story, the governor has to put his difference with the speaker, bring the whole house together.
Yes.
Together as a team, we discuss on how we can take Turkana forward. Thank you.
Asante sana. Is that your plea to the governor, that please consider the reconciliation?
Of course, that is what I've always been saying.
Okay.
You've been watching my clips all through. Even in Lokichar, I've been asking the governor to meet with the MP Turkana South.
Okay.
Even now, I still ask him to meet with the speaker and these other members. I have always been a peace-loving politician.
Okay.
Because I know there is life after politics, my friend. I was not born a politician. And there is life after all these things.
Okay.
So we cannot keep hard stance, and our people are suffering. So whatever that should bring us together are challenges that are affecting our people.
Okay. Sawa. That's the message to the governor, and I hope he's watching. Mheshimiwa Lomodo is calling for a reconciliation, which is very important also as for Turkana's Turkana to move forward. I want us to have our last parting shot, and this is not for in regards to politics. It is about what do you think about us having this program every Monday, and do you think whatever we've discussed here it is something that will give us the future of Turkana? Karibu sana, tuanze na wakili. Kamera ya wakili, I think kamera ya wakili.
First of all, I have to commend you for taking this leap of faith to start this program. And for everyone who is watching, I want to encourage you to open your minds to think about something more than the borders of Turkana County, to think about something more than politics local. There is so much to talk about. Tufungue akili, tusome vitabu. Kwa sababu mtu alisema a man who does not read has no advantage over a man who cannot read. See tu hapa. Let us discuss other things out there. And that is why I commend you for starting this program, so that you're not only talking about things here, but you're also talking about things elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, what happens outside there tends to affect us. Okay. And to my fellow panelists, nashukuru sana for being probably one of the best panels I've sat in. We have disagreed, but no atom is noticed to me disagree. Thank you so much. I've also learned a lot from you guys. Asante sana Mwesha, asante Walimu.
Okay. Kamera ya Mheshimiwa, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manu.
Yes.
This is a very good initiative, which is worth support from across. It is worth support from the political class, worth support from non-governmental stakeholders, and even the government itself. I think you are bringing Turkana into light when we discuss more of the issues that are affecting our people. But I want to urge you, as you're doing a good job, make sure that we reduce discussing about politics, about how politics will go, but let's discuss about issues that are affecting the people of Turkana. Like, for example, when we have CFSP, the County Fiscal Strategy Paper, where like the annual development plan, We can discuss about the implementations of how the government is implementing these projects. You can bring a political expert. You can bring even the chairperson for the budget committee. You can even bring other 2 members from different wards to discuss how things are being done. Sometimes you can even call the members of parliament to come and discuss on issues that are affecting our people in their respective constituencies. And I want to urge you, this is the best TV we are having in Turkana at the moment. So we want to urge you be very professional when addressing most of the issues that are affecting our people. Don't take any sides. Like today, you've been very, very independent on even trying to inquire. So I'm very grateful for the initiative. Anytime you need our support, especially my personal support, just raise with me, and I will do what I can to ensure that we enlighten the entire country, or even enlighten the entire members of Turkana County.
Asante. Asante sana mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much. I think this is an idea, which has been lying and lacking within the borders of Turkana, and I believe I'm so grateful and lucky to be a panelist in the inaugural IOC TV show. We need to open Turkana to the world, so that what we discuss here will go post the borders of Turkana, the borders of Kenya, the borders of the world, so that we paint pictures of what is happening, including strengthening governance. For such programs, to ensure that there is accountability in resource management, so that the people benefit. What trickles down from the exchequer, this place is used to the benefit of the community, but not the other way around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you kept silent on what is happening around, then that is when we start making a lot of noise. What you can't speak. We are paid. When you speak, you hide. You need to say that. And I'm looking forward to being a future panelist.
Yeah. Yeah.
On matters governance and political. Thank you very much.
Na mjatangaza biashara zenu. Najua wengine wenu wafanye biashara. Amwambii watu mali mnapatikana. Yeah, okay. Wakili ulikuwa unataka kutangaza biashara. Yeah, sawa. Otherwise, back to you, our viewers. Thank you so much for keeping time and to having been with us since the beginning. We've taken much time, and I know that time is worth what we've discussed, and we really appreciate you for staying with us since the beginning and up to now. We've discussed a lot of things, but we wish that in future we will be discussing maybe 2 topics, so that we have enough time to delve into it, and to also give it the best conclusion. So otherwise, from IOC team, we appreciate the panels today. Mr. Shadrach Muyesu, the advocate of the High Court, Mheshimiwa Samuel Lomodo, MCA Lokicha Ward, and Mr. Opio, the governance and political expert, for creating time. I know I started to contact you about this, most of you are engaged elsewhere, but we agreed on the time and on the day. So next time we reach out, please know whatever we are coming to discuss is for the benefit of the Turkana people and for the nation as a whole. Otherwise, thank you so much. It has been a good debate. And to my team at the back, kazi mzuri sana, kongole, and Mungu awabariki. We will talk again next Wednesday on The Profile with Marina Chokori, and on Monday we will have the same panel discussing different issues. Asante na Mungu awabariki. Thank you.